tremendous pain and disruption, but they also cleansed the system of excess. The government may be burdened by debt, but the private sector and millions of Americans have been sitting on their cash. A lot of cash. And soon they will begin to spend. In place of recession and crisis, we will face a period of renewed growth, with a new sense of optimism about the future. So when will that growth start happening? It is happening now in some parts of the country. Take a trip to North Dakota, or Cambridge, Massachusetts, or Silicon Valley and San Francisco, or Austin, or Houston, or New York City, and you will see the seeds of growth taking root. Soon, that growth will be happening everywhere. That growth, and the new century it will usher in, is the subject of this book. Introduction. No one ever made a plugged nickel betting against the USA. This book was conceived out of my frustration with the ill-informed statements made by so many of the candidates for office during the 2012 election cycle. It's not the first time people have made erroneous assessments regarding the United States and its prospects. Almost from the start, there were politicians and pundits who counted us out. But during those recent campaigns, the national one for the presidency, as well as ones conducted on the state and local level, we heard claim after claim that our best days were behind us. One phrase in particular, "We don't make anything here anymore," made me extremely weary. Candidates who should have known better, who should have understood more about the American economy and our role in the world, were mindlessly repeating a statement that made people nervous, made them doubt our place in the world, and made them pessimistic about the future. Worse, it just wasn't true. Commentators, pundits, and other so-called opinion leaders repeated it as if it were a mantra. China was surpassing us. Eating our lunch was how a lot of them put it, and the United States, and perhaps all of the Western world, was more or less doomed. Then, of course, they added that all of our ills were to be blamed on the people and policies of the other political party. It's difficult to remember another time when so many cheap shots were fired, and so many uninformed statements made. While all of this nonsense was taking place, the streets were filled with protesters of all ages in lawn chairs, apparently the preferred method of protest these days. Members of the Tea Party vied with members of Occupy Wall Street for media time. But as I listened to their arguments, and in a couple of instances talked to members of these groups, it soon became apparent to me that none of them really knew what they were talking about. Their own situations may have ranged from difficult to wretched, but did the personal difficulties of some people mean that an entire country, all of the United States of America, was wretched as well? Was the United States really in as bad a shape as these people said it was? From where I sit, as a senior fellow at the Milken Institute, a non-profit, non-partisan economic think tank, although the opinions in this book are entirely my own, and from my board-level relationship to the Wharton School's SEI Center for Advanced Studies in Management, I have access to an unusual array of data, facts, and other kinds of information, and most importantly, to some of the most brilliant and insightful people in the world. But I wasn't born yesterday, nor did I just start gathering information about the United States and its prospects. I have been an economy watcher most of my professional life, and have studied the economy from the time I was in graduate school, including the period when I was a practicing international economist at the United Nations, the years when I covered economics and business at the New York Times, and the years I spent as editor-in-chief of the Harvard Business Review. I have authored or co-authored hundreds of articles and dozens of books on the global and U.S. economy. Over the years, I've interviewed hundreds of CEOs and other business executives, and a wide range of leaders in politics and economics.